guys, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me, and ultimately thank you so much for gracing your presence here on my channel. Alright, so let's get into it. But first, let's check out, what I got going on. Yes, I did my hair. No, it's not staying in long. Okay, it's overrated. But and no, I'm not going back to locks anytime soon, even though I like the style from time to time. I like to switch up my hair every so often, just because that's how I feel, and I don't keep braids or weave in my hair for a long period of time, just because my scalp is very sensitive, and so having false hair or synthetic hair rub against my scalp every single day and every night is very irritating, and I'm having to oil it like twice a day. That doesn't even help because anyway. But I just wanted to let you know that I am still working with some hair up under here, okay, obviously. But you know, I hope you enjoy this style. So my wash and go 101. Now this is not I'm not an expert at wash and goes. I'm not an expert at doing hair, but I am an expert at doing my hair. I am an expert in my experience. So what I'm sharing with you guys are just tips that I've found to be helpful with me. Tips that I've kind of enjoyed and learned along the way. So if you're ready for what I learned, just sit back, grab yourself some coffee. Matter of fact, let me go get my coffee. Yeah, let me do that. Ding. White chocolate mocha, don't play. Knowing your hair porosity means knowing what type of products work for your hair. This goes for creams, butters, leave-in sprays, okay? So I'm not going to break down the hair porosity for low versus high versus medium to you, but I do know that knowing your hair porosity, and you can do that just by doing a hair porosity test, by taking a dead hair or shed hair from your hair, dip it in some water. If it rises or sinks, you know what porosity you are. So you can either co-wash or fully cleanse your hair. The first step, you can either do co-washing or cleanse your hair fully. With me, it just depends on what day it is, or what day my styling falls on. If it's falling on the beginning of the week or towards the end of the week, I'm usually washing my hair fully, which means I'm using a clarifying shampoo to get all the gunk and the gel and the leftover products that was in my hair from a week long, and I'm also deep conditioning. Okay, so deep conditioning is key when you're fully washing your hair, because it helps soften those tangles. It helps smooth out those curls or those coils to where it's manageable to work with whatever style you choose to do. But we're talking about wash and goes, okay? Co-washing usually happens 1 to 2 days after you've fully washed and styled your hair. Co-washing just helps keep the moisture manageability, keep the moisture retention within your hair. It helps softens your scalp, so that way your scalp is not dry when you go to put gel on it, or you go to put heavy conditioner or any type of thing. It helps make your hair more manageable to deal with when you frequently take care of it, you frequently moisturize it, and you frequently wash it or wash it with conditioner. But it's helpful co-washing if you plan to do wash and goes frequently, which means for me in my household, I cannot do wash and goes for a week. And by that I mean my wash and goes will not last for a week. After 3 days, my hair will dry out. My hair will become extremely frizzy to a point where it tangles. And that's just because my hair is type 4 hair in quotations, okay? So I do them frequently so that my hair is more manageable. So yes, it's good to do it more frequently if you are on the drier side of your texture. I don't know much about loose the 3s or the 2s because that's just not my hair. But if you're more on the 4 side, then you probably want to do your hair, you want to wash and go your hair more frequently, or wash and style your hair more frequently, not only to keep the moisture in, but to help manage your hair and manipulate your hair to where you want it to do, or to what you want it to do. So after we've gotten the washing part out, right? I know that took a while for me to explain. I hope I didn't confuse you, but I wanted to make sure you understood that everybody does their hair differently. These are just options for you. You know, you can co-wash your hair. You can fully wash your hair. It's just up to you what day of the week it falls on, how much product you got in your hair, how dry your hair is, and how much moisture your hair retains. A good leave-in, okay, would slip, and you want to have water for penetration. So that's the second step. For me, I only need 2 products, 3 if you're including water, but 2 actual hair products for my wash and goes. I've seen people do the lock method or the LCO method with their wash and goes, which is basically adding leave-in, oil, cream, then a gel, or leave-in, cream, oil, then a gel. And to me, that's a lot of product, and it's, to me, unnecessary, because if you have a good moisturizer, which is your leave-in, that is going to help moisturize your hair and keep your hair moisturized throughout the day and for how many ever days you keep your style in. And then the gel is just basically there to freeze your curls in place. But I have noticed that working with gels, a lot of them can be drying, but then you do have those that are made with aloe or marshmallow root that aren't so much drying. So it really just about paying attention to the products that you're buying, paying attention to the products that you're using in your hair, and how your hair is reacting. So the reason why I mention a leave-in with a good slip is, like I mentioned before, is because that's going to help make your hair more manageable. It's not going to have your hair tangling all over the place. As soon as you put it in, it's like you run your hands through it with ease. Water is your best friend. It's going to get your curls to have bounce and elongation. Water is just like when you go into the pool, the beach, or even in the shower. As soon as you put water on your hair shrinks up. If your hair is not shrinking up, your hair is not healthy. And water is something you want to use throughout the wash and go styling process, which means before you put in your leave-in conditioner, you want to make sure your hair is wet. Now, a lot of people say have it soaking wet. Potato to potato. To me, I like to have it damp enough where the products can go easily through it. If the products are not moving easily through your hair, you need more water, okay? If your products are getting stuck in one place or just sitting on top of your hair, you need more water. Now, there's this big thing on whether you use hot water or cold water. And I have seen the difference in both. Cold water kind of makes your hair more frizzy, just because it's colder and it's shocking your strands. So when something's in shock, it kind of goes everywhere. Warm water helps open those cuticles more readily, so that new products are coming in. When your hair is cold, it's hard for products to penetrate into your strands. Now, they may sit on top and you may feel like, oh, my hair is moisturized, but it's not completely moisturized if it's not maneuvering through and into your strands, because that means after your styling, after it dries, your hair is still left moist from the inside out. So warm water is good to use when doing a wash and go styling, but if you want me to keep it real, it doesn't matter. And then of course you want to, your last step is to add a gel to lock in the curl pattern. Whichever curl pattern, a zigzag, S curl, whatever pattern that you have with your curls, the gel locks it in place. So you have your leave-in to provide moisturization, slip, detangling measures, and then you have your water from time to time just to loosen up those curls, get it to form in its pattern naturally, and also to provide penetration for products to penetrate through your strands. Then after your curls have formed, you want to have a gel to lock it in place. My best bet is to use a moisturizing gel. Now I can also make a separate video if you prefer of like which gels have worked out for me, because as I have not been showing you my wash and goes, I have been using different products for my hair just to see which one really works, without breaking the bank, of course, but to see how my hair reacts, what kind of gels my hair like, and so forth and so forth. So when you're working with gels and you're type 4, you have dryer, I'm not even gonna say type whatever. When you're working with gel and you have drier to normal hair, you want to use a moisturizing gel. That way, when your hair finish drying, you don't have a hard crunch on your hair. You're not left with a cast or a barrier on your hair. You can use all afterwards, and that's optional, okay? Again, you really only need 2 products, but if you just want to go the extra mile to break that hard cast on a gel that you may have used that provided a little bit more crunch than you're used to, you can use oil to kind of break that cast so your hair doesn't feel hard, or your hair doesn't feel too stiff to where it cannot maneuver or maneuver into the shape that you want it to be in. Of course, you want to work the products into your hair fully, and there are different methods and techniques to styling a wash and go, right? So the best one that I found is the raking method, which is basically taking a section of hair and raking through it. Some people do the praying hands method. Some people do the shingling method, which is just taking single strands and twirling it around your finger until it produces your desired curl. That to me takes too long, okay? I'm already doing it anyway. So I found that the raking method is a lot faster. You still are getting the clumps for your curls. They're clumping together, but they're still separating to where you can see individual curls and the individual pattern that presents. So that's the best method that I found, because it also separates the hair at the same time. Some people use tools, okay? It's a lot with wash and go, I know. Some people use tools to detangle their hair, or some people use tools to clump the curls together, such as brushes, combs, tangle teasers, whatever you want to call them. I personally do not use tools, because when putting product in your hair, even when it provides slip, but also then going in with a gel that can be drying to some instances, it can pull out too much hair, and it can, that's just it. Now you also want to shake afterwards to clump the curls together, which produces a more fuller look. That's kind of self-explanatory. When you're shaking your curls together with gel and leave-in and all these products, they're getting stuck together, so they're gonna ultimately produce a more full look, rather as if you don't shake your hair, you kind of just have it looks like the shingling method, where there's just curls separated all over the place and they're not really forming together. So then, now that you know the products, the methods, whether or not you want to use tools, you've learned about water, now we're going to go into the drying process. Some people air dry, some people use a blow dryer, some people use a hooded dryer, same thing. To me, air drying takes the longest. So if it depends on when you do your hair, right? So if you do your hair early in the morning and you want to air dry, okay, by the end of the day, it should be dry. Depending on how long, how dense, how much product, how much water you use in your hair. A lot of factors go into wash and go if you haven't figured that out already. But air drying takes the longest, but it gives you, to me, the best results. If you decide to use heat, I would use cool air at a low speed, and that's just depending on what type of dryer you have. But if you have a regular dryer, just use it at the low speed, because I have a regular dryer and nobody got time for that. Okay? Alright. Use a pick as you go when you're drying to hold the shape and style in place. Okay? So this is just, some people say you should pick before you dry your hair, pick during, pick after. What do I do? It depends on the products that I've used. If I've used moisturizing products, I probably don't need to pick while it's drying, because after I finish, it's still manageable to where I can maneuver it around. Now, if I'm using hardcore products that are going to literally freeze my curls and have it to become stiff, I probably need to pick while I'm drying. I hope this video was helpful. It was a long video for me. I know it was a long video for you, but I really think you got something out of it. And if I'm right and you did, go ahead and like this video for me. Show some love by giving this video a big thumbs up for me, okay? And also, don't forget to subscribe before you leave, because I would love to see your lovely face back here again, okay? Thank you guys for sitting here with me, drinking some coffee. Let's getting to know one another and just really enjoying how to wash and style or wash and go your hair. If there's anything that you feel that I've missed, or you feel like that needs to go into prepping your hair, whether that's however, washing, co-washing, defining your curls, getting them plush, getting them thick, getting them voluminous, and you felt like I missed some pointers, leave them down below. I don't know everything, and I will tell you I don't know everything. I'm not an expert at doing hair, but I am an expert at doing my hair and what works for me. So, but I definitely want to expand the knowledge and leave that open for you in the comment section below, so that other people with different texture, with different type, different densities, know what works for their hair and what can work for their hair. Because to me, learning wash and go, first off, was not easy. There was no for beginners, and there was no instructional guide. So I really do hope this serves as an instructional guide for you, so that you understand what and how wash and go can work best for you. Like I said, if this was helpful, let me know. If it wasn't, alright. But I took my time to do it. And I appreciate you stopping by, for even listening to my experience with wash and goes and the information that I have provided. Thanks guys again once so much, and I will talk to you in my next video. Peace.